What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back with another review of Love and Marriage Detroit. Yes, Detroit is back. This is season 2, episode 7, I believe. And the episode is titled Daddy's Home. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So we start this episode off with Brandon coming home back to Christina and the girls. And the girls are saying how they felt about him not being at the house. They're like, where were you? Why weren't you around enough? And at one point, Brandon does have to tell his daughters that, there was a point where I did not think that I would always be mommy's husband, but now I know for sure that we're always going to be a family. We're always going to be together. And here's the thing. It's cool that Brandon and Christina are back together, but what was so interesting was the fact that Brandon says that he's now ready to lead the family. And I'm just like, well, what were you doing before, Brandon? Just out of curiosity. What the hell were you doing before? So, at this point, they are all happy. Brandon's back in the house. We good to go. Moving on from there. We now get over to Anthony and LaToya's house. The kids are in the shot. I said, oh, okay, cool. Look at the kids. But I'll tell you, the oldest one looks just like LaToya. The second one looks more like Anthony. And then the little girl is like a mix of them both. Seriously. Cute kids, though. They're basically having this conversation with their son, Trey. And they keep questioning him about what's going on in school, what's going on in 7th grade. Listen, stop asking these kids questions on camera. I get it. Y'all want to show y'all family life. I get it. But some kids don't want to be in front of the camera, and I feel like these are some kids that don't want to do it. For example, I know that we've all seen Married to Medicine, and Toya and Eugene, they have filmed a couple of scenes with their sons. Their sons are comfortable in front of the camera, and they are honestly being themselves. However, I feel like this group of kids, please, just let the kids be kids. If they start filming and y'all eat dinner, just be like, all right, kids, go upstairs. It's okay. I promise. Because you got the boy Trey. He doesn't really want to talk about 7th grade. The other son, I don't even know his name, but he don't want to say nothing either. His face is covered the whole time. Okay? So, at one point, the kids end up leaving, right? And LaToya, she talks about having mom guilt yet again, because I feel like we already had this conversation I don't want to say last season, but I guess part A of season 2, whatever. She's telling Anthony how, I just feel like I'm working so hard, but I don't spend enough time with the boys, and not just the boys, but their daughter as well, and how the kids don't really talk to her. So Anthony tells her, girl, you're a perfectionist. So when it comes to them, you're constantly expecting perfection. And when they can't give you that, they don't want to tell you that. And to me, I feel like, yes, LaToya has high expectations on her children. Hell, and everybody else around her. But at the same time, I feel like there's more of a disconnect with her and these kids. Okay? I feel like because she's so, headstrong in her career, that there are certain things that Anthony has probably taken the reins on. And now that these kids are getting older, she's starting to realize, hey, I feel kind of out of place with my kids. I don't know what's really going on with them. And honestly, all she needs is to start hanging out with them more. Oh, she tried to do that later, and I'm going to get there, and I feel like that was the wrong thing to do. I'm going to get there. Moving on from there, we have LaToya meeting up with Kobe, right? Y'all, I completely forgot that Kobe was still pregnant. I really did. But they're chit-chatting, and next thing you know, here come Kimnita Bynum, y'all. Here come Kimberly showing up. And I said, oh, okay. Kim is back. I kind of forgot about her. Nonetheless, Kobe goes on to talk about how her and Russell are planning to have an au pair, right? Who is basically a live-in, well, I don't want to say nanny, but yes, the person is basically a live-in nanny as well as kind of taking over the reins of the household. Okay? Kind of like a house manager. House manager and nanny, right? Now, Kobe says that she has already met the person and she's happy with her decision. And Kim says that, at one point when they were having her daughter, I believe, that they were going to possibly get an au pair. However, for her, she didn't want a stranger in her house. Now, Kobe says that black people aren't educated in au pairs. Girl, I can't really agree with that. I definitely feel like there's people who have nannies, for sure. For black people, a lot of times, it could be a relative. It be the grandmother. It be the auntie. It be somebody in the family, okay? They may not be hiring people that are specifically for that job, but there's usually a relative involved. But nonetheless, besides that, I think that when it comes to being a black person, and even if you're wealthy, okay, I'm not even trying to be rude, but the cast on this show ain't even giving wealthy. It's giving middle class maybe, okay? And I'm not trying to shit on Kobe. But the way you were making it seem as if this is something that the black community, they don't understand. No, sweetheart. To be able to afford another person living with you, and you're taking care of most of their expenses, yeah, we're not doing that. Yeah, usually black people, they not about to do that, okay? And then on top of that, when it comes to her saying how black people aren't educated in this, girl, a lot of times black people want to raise their own kids. A lot of times black people want to manage their own household. Like, sit down for a minute. Like, when I tell y'all, Kimberly, Kobe, and Latoya rubbed me the wrong way. My God. Nonetheless, as they continue on with this conversation, I just started to think about Kobe. And Kobe, girl, you need a babysitter and a housekeeper. What the hell are you doing all day? Like, for real, for real. I'm not even trying to be funny. You are an influencer, okay? Does Kobe even have 100,000 followers? Like, girl, I get it. That is your career. But sis, I really want her to be honest with herself and be like, you know what? I thought I wanted to have children. I had children and I regret it. It's okay. I feel like she should be honest and say that. I don't think that Kobe wants to be a mom. I don't. Y'all, I don't. Especially after this episode, I don't think that Kobe wants to be a mom. I think that this girl, yes, she may have fell in love with a man and said, you know what? We're going to do the whole family thing. He wants to have kids. Yeah, I want to have kids. And at the time, she may have absolutely wanted to have children. However, now that she has them, I don't think that Kobe enjoys being a mom. I really don't. And honestly, I mean, I don't have kids, but most mothers will not say that they regret it. But I feel like there's a little bit of regret when it comes to Kobe. I'm sorry. I have to say it. Moving on from there, what threw me off was when they were talking about the au pair and how Kim was like, yeah, that's how they earn their keep. Because when you have an au pair, they usually live with you. So again, this is why I am giving a side eye to Kobe, especially later in the episode. But you know what? I'm going to hold off on that. And we're going to get to that later. Okay, so Latoya, she had nothing to add to this conversation, y'all. Nothing. I think at the top of the conversation, she mentioned how her and Anthony, they were going to get an au pair as well. I don't really believe that, but okay, Latoya. Kimberly gives the ladies an update on her conversation with Christina. I completely forgot all about that conversation. Is that when she decided to throw them clothes on the floor? Is that the conversation that she's talking about, y'all? Basically, she says that they had a yelling match, and she feels like, her and Christina basically get invited to the same events. So Christina is just going to have to deal with her being there. Okay, girl, whatever. Moving on, we see a double date between Brandon and Christina and Bravo and his wife, Lakita. And We learned that Bravo is revamping one of his businesses. I think he's going to go for more like a lounge type vibe, because y'all know he does all the clubs or whatever. Good for him. Christina, she says that she's really trying to do this whole music thing, and now she's going to do Brandon's boot camp. Girl, y'all can do that at the house. Please stop playing in our face. Brandon ain't got nothing to do, and you don't either. Just say that. So, next thing you know, they talk about the fact that Anthony did not invite Bravo to the Men's Movement event. And I want to say, because I'm really trying to go off memory, I want to say that event was the one where they were at like the school and they were talking to some kids. And Bravo feels like, he had a business and he should have been invited up there to speak, I guess. However, Anthony said no. Okay? No, thank you. Here's the thing. Maybe it's because of the type of business that you do. And I'm not trying to shit on Bravo at all. But maybe he's not trying to promote that the kids become club promoters. Like, yes, you are the owner, but you probably started as a promoter. Okay? Nonetheless, we can clearly see that there's still a divide with Anthony and Brandon. Okay? Also, we learned that Bravo is feeling some type of way because when Kim and Christina got into it at his club's anniversary, they were doing all that yelling, and when he told them hey, y'all need to chill out, they didn't stop, number one. And on top of that, he is giving Marcel a side eye because he did not try to intervene and stop his wife in any way, shape, or form. So now Bravo got to go ask for an apology. I'm like, oh, okay. If that's what we gonna do. Moving on from there, we see LaToya and her boys, right? She wants to do something special for them. Okay, cool. Again, the middle child, I don't know his name. He keeps covering his face. That boy does not want to be on camera. LaToya, get the cameras away from your child. So LaToya decides to really force it here. And she basically got a bowling alley truck to come to their house. I said, girl, what? So as they're walking outside, she's like, oh yeah, I'm doing things better than your dad, right? And they're like, no, not better than our dad. She's really trying to get the boys to like her more than Anthony, and it's not happening right now. So, like I said, this little mobile bowling alley, it would have been cute at a birthday party. But girl, you could have just took them kids to the regular bowling alley. That ball was so small. Stop playing. Please stop playing. Honestly, this is given. Somebody told LaToya that she is a bad mother. Somebody had to have said that to her. And I feel like she's really trying to prove that she's not. And I'm just like, okay, what's going on here, LaToya? There's a lot of disconnect. But moving on, we get to this group dinner that Anthony's throwing together. Kimberly shows up with that fur jacket on. Girl, we need another one. Ma'am, get you a new fur. Because this, we done seen you wear it about 10 times. Enough with this brown fur. Okay? Also, I realized I want Lakita to get a stylist. She's a beautiful woman. However, she must have came straight from work. Because that sweater over that white blouse, girl. No, that was not the move. What confused me was when Christina walked in, her and Kimberly, they said hello to each other, but trying to give each other a hug. I'm like, what's going on here? Y'all don't like each other. Why are we being fake? You could have just said, hey girl, and kept walking. So Anthony was trying to be the funny guy, cracking jokes on Brandon because he has a nut allergy and something else. I was not really checking for it. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of this whole dinner. Bravo, he brings up the fact that they were arguing and he did not get his apology, right? Now, Kim apologizes, right? It says that, I actually apologized at your event, but, I'll apologize again. However, at this point, Marcel wants to argue. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Marcel, what's the point? He feels like, why did Bravo wait to address him when he could have addressed him in the moment? Sir, are you dumb? Because the situation was already heightened between the women, okay? You got these women yelling back and forth, okay? You never jumped in to try to diffuse the situation at all. Okay, Marcel? So, if he waited till the next time that he saw y'all because he has not seen y'all, I don't have a problem with him bringing that up, because y'all could have easily gotten his phone number and been like, hey, I know things went south. So sorry about us doing that at your anniversary. That was never our intention. Okay? Y'all, I don't know. I didn't like that. I just did not like the way Marcel approached the situation. Like, it's giving Kimberly and her husband versus Bravo and Lakita trying to figure out who's going to get the spot. As if they only have one spot on the show. You know what I mean? They fighting for it. Like, what was that? So then we do see Russell in his confessional. He's like, Bravo talking about how they were disrupting his event, but he's disrupting another event. That's Anthony's event. And I'm just kind of like, but it's Anthony. Who cares? So, at one point, Bravo was telling him, like, yo, y'all could at least put me to the side. And they were like, no, you were busy, so we didn't do that. Okay, so now y'all making excuses. Like, I just can't with them. They run it back. Kimberly did end up apologizing when she was there. However, Bravo did not hear her. And then Marcel apologizes. And now they're all good. Yeah. Moving on. We get Brandon and Christina. They're at the table and they announce that they're back together. Who cares? Moving on from that, we have Russell. He talks about the fact that his daughter tends to go to sleep in her room. However, she wakes up in the middle of the night and she wants to sleep in their room, right? How can he, approach that situation and get their daughter to stay in her own room, right? Everybody has kids in this group. And pretty much the answer was, you just gotta wait for them to get it together on their own, okay? Kids, all different age ranges, they may continue to come and ask if they can sleep in their parents' bedroom. I just kind of feel like, okay, if your daughter is coming back into the room and she is crying and saying that she wants to sleep in the bed with you, then why don't you go back and take her into the room with her, lay in the bed there, wait till she falls asleep, and then you can go back to your bed. I'm sorry, it's a part of being a parent. I don't have kids, but I feel like that's kind of a thing to do. Y'all let me know if I'm loud and wrong. I'll accept it if I'm loud and wrong on that approach. Moving on from there, they also talk about if they want to have more kids. Nobody wants more kids. Anthony, he brings up the fact that they have a French nanny and that she's supposed to be a baddie. So none of the men there have ever heard of an au pair. And basically, Anthony says that he's never heard of it. And LaToya's like, we talked about that before. I don't think that they talked about it. I really don't. Moving on from that, Anthony is going off that liquor. Okay? And I feel like that was pretty much it. Let's get to this last scene, y'all. And that is with Kobe and Russell. Basically, we come in mid-argument of Kobe and Russell, okay? She's mad at him because he's not helping her with a regimen for their daughter. Now, he's working, okay? This man is focused on building his gym, and potty training is not on his goddamn bingo card. Y'all, I'm sorry, but Kobe, ooh, she's aggravating. Y'all, that man literally said that he retired her. So basically, she can handle the family stuff while he go out here and work. Keep in mind, from what I can recall, Russell has his regular 9-to-5 that he does. He's also trying to build this gym, right? And I'm just like, okay, so this man is working crazy hours, okay? Making sure that you and the girls are good. And you're upset with him because he had to get some things organized for work. And he couldn't sit up here and come up with a regimen with you for your daughter? Kobe, what the fuck are you doing all day? And I'm not trying to be funny here. What the fuck are you doing all fucking day? Like, how in the hell are you gonna handle 2 kids? It ain't making no sense. Like, none whatsoever. And then, this is the crazy part right here. Their daughter, who's there, who ain't nobody paying attention to, she happens to use the bathroom on herself, right? Keep in mind, I believe this little girl is, 2 or 3 years old? And my whole thing is, instead of you sitting up here arguing, Kobe, you could have been taking your daughter to the bathroom. Because here's the thing. If you know that y'all may have left the house at 2 o'clock and it's now 3:30, yeah, you should have taken your child to the bathroom. Matter of fact, when you pulled up to the place, you should have been like, Kendall, let's go to the bathroom first before we see daddy. Get your child used to going to the bathroom. Okay? How about you try that? So, because Russell happened to notice that their daughter's diaper was full or whatever, it became a question of who's going to take her to the bathroom. And she's like, oh, I'll do it, or whatever. However, Kendall does not want her mom to do it. Kendall, this little girl, is like, I want daddy, because she says that her mom was mad, y'all. No, I'm sorry, no, she's mad at her mom. That's what it is. She said, Mom, I'm mad at you, right? And then Russell goes on to explain to us that when it comes to Kendall, there are times when she don't want to deal with her mama because she says that mommy always fusses at me. Mommy's always fussing at me. Like, y'all, I definitely can see Kobe being the type of parent that's like, oh my God, Kendall, you did it again. You didn't tell me that you had to use the bathroom. You know how to use the bathroom. I'm pretty sure she is that type of person because that's the way she talks to Russell. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess in my mind, I'm just trying to figure out what the hell does Kobe do all day that she is starting to neglect her daughter, okay? There is resentment there. Like, girl, you are carrying a baby that you don't wish to carry. You're pissed off that it's a girl and not a boy, because had you had a boy, then you will be all good because Russell would be set and not try to force you or talk you into having another baby. Like, girl, just be honest with the man and say, I don't want any more children. You're just gonna have to deal with that. Like, be so for real. So, after he take this little girl to the bathroom or whatever, Kobe is now frustrated. I'm like, what the fuck? She's frustrated with him because she feels like he does not reprimand Kendall when she uses the bathroom on herself. Like, he's just not strict with his daughter. And Kobe's like, well, you know, I feel like you get to be the fun dad while I'm being the person that is, you know, telling her what's wrong and all these things. Girl. Like, girl. I'm not exactly sure what she was expecting. I'm really confused. And I get it. You absolutely want your husband to be hands-on with his child. And for me, it seems like Russell has been hands-on in the allotted amount of time that he has in a day. Okay? Because, let's be honest, most men, they don't even take their little girls to the bathroom. Let's be honest here, okay? If it's their son, yes, they will take their son to the bathroom. However, their little girls, not really, okay? Now, at this point, she tells him that she doesn't want to have 2 kids in diapers at the same time. And then she starts crying, saying that, you know, he's so closed off and how she feels like he was being dismissive earlier in the day. But again, he's telling her how he had a lot of stuff to do for work. Like, I just feel like at some point, y'all, this relationship may be coming to an end. Okay? And it's giving Russell may get custody of the kids, okay? Because, and I get it. Being pregnant, having a 2-year-old or 3-year-old, that is a lot. Her emotions are all over the place. But I just honestly feel like Kobe don't want these kids. But y'all, that was the episode. Love and Marriage Detroit is back. This episode was okay. It really wasn't giving much. But we gonna see what happens in the season. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about it. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.